All right, so I got how did you actually get involved with Warpfrog? Like, what brought you to?
Myself,
Yeah, and what's your background in gaming too? Like how yeah, exactly that. How did you get involved in
Yeah,
the
what was
playing
the
Sorcery?
process
oh,
to? Because
it's a crazy story. It's a crazy
I'm
story.
ready.
So, so okay, brace yourself. So, let me see how far back can I go with this. Uh, I guess I'll start here. So, I moved across country to California for no reason other than I just wanted to try something new. And so, me and my friend and my girlfriend, we moved across country. Uh, we didn't have any jobs lined up. It was the craziest thing I'd ever done. And we just arrived in California. And I was an editor, a video editor by trade. That's my profession. That's why I do all the trailers and stuff. And showed up in Los Angeles and then realized there's a million video editors out here. Like no one is going to hire me because everyone is a video editor. And so that was really hard. So when you're unemployed and living in Los Angeles where your rent is like, almost 3 grand, there's nothing quite like that to light a fire underneath you. So I was like, God, how do I make money? How do I make money? How do I make money? So I used to review stuff for Amazon, and then that shut down. They stopped that practice. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll start a new review service, but this time I'll do video games. Why not video games? Like I love video games. So I was like, I'll review Steam games, and I'll make a puppet show about it because I used to have this old puppet kind of podcast show I used to do with my friends. So I had this puppet just sitting there. I was like, I'll do a puppet because I don't like being on camera. So I was like, this will be my thing. A Steam review channel with puppets. So that was grand. And I did that for about 1 year, 2 year, scraping by on like ad revenue for my YouTube channel and stuff. And it was really, 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 really hard. And the one thing you'll find is that when you're kind of like a smaller guy, no big dev wants to hear you or talk to you. They want to give keys out to like PewDiePie and stuff, guys with like millions of subs. So when you're like a little YouTuber, you kind of are just scraping from the bottom, reviewing the games that no one's ever heard of and stuff like that. So I made it. My little niche was finding these little games that no one's ever heard of that are awesome. That was my little thing, and it was going to be an anti-hyperbole, anti-sensationalist, like no clickbait YouTube channel. That was my shtick, too, because I'm a little bit older and I hate that kind of like culture with like young YouTubers. So I was doing this for about 2 years, and then I was on Reddit one day and I saw this thread, and it was a guy who was bemoaning like, God, there's no good VR melee games. Like, what's the deal with that? And I completely agree. Everything before Blade and Sorcery to me felt like Wiggle Sword, like where it's weightless and it feels like you're flapping a feather
No
around.
physics.
No physics. So I was reading this thread, whatever, and then down the thread was a little comment by Cosby, and he said, "I'm making a game, and it's like a fantasy medieval game, and it has like a kind of unique take on melee combat." And the guy was, and I don't want to be mean because sometimes I tell the story and I feel like I'm being a bit mean about it because maybe I'm taking the guy up wrong. But the guy was like a little bit ungrateful, or ungracious in his reply to Cosby, and he was like something. I'm paraphrasing, but he was something like sorry, I don't play indie games or something like that aren't on Steam or something like that. So something like that. Yeah, it's a little bit ungracious because Cosby was like, if you want to try it, I'll give you a key. And then Cosby was like, it is on Steam and stuff. And the guy was like, said something like, well, it better be good or something like that. Or it's just something like English. So I just slipped in. I was like, hey, like I'm a little VR YouTuber. I love finding hidden gems. I was like, I'll play your game. And he's like, great. So he sent me a key. This was in 2018. This was about summer 2018. Sent me a key and I played it. And the first thing I saw was the way it used to be in the old days, you used to start off looking in the mirror. And I looked, you're looking at your own avatar in the mirror, and you're moving your arms. You can see the avatar moving his arms. I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's neat. That's neat. And then I picked up a weapon. I was swinging it. I was like, oh, just like kind of like a little bit of kind of physics lag and stuff. And I was like, that's cool. That's really neat too. And then I went into the arena, and I just remember that first enemy coming out, and they looked real PlayStation 2 graphics back in the day. But the first enemy came out, and I remember stabbing the guy, and I was just like, oh my God. It was like nothing I had ever experienced before. It was the tactile sensation of it. You know what I mean? It was almost like you had feedback. The blade goes in and it kind of, it's just, I just had never seen anything like it. And I was just blown away. And then when I was messing with the, swords, I was like, how to find the hitbox. And you got to remember too, this was 2018. There was nothing like this back then, okay? Because even Boneworks, which is probably the closest thing to Blade and Sorcery, Boneworks had not been announced. They were in development themselves, but they had not announced it, and they had no interaction with Blade and Sorcery and vice versa. So it was a year later when Boneworks came out. So you're talking, this was cutting edge for the time. And you had Nim Sony, but the same thing. It was like he wasn't really out there pushing his game and stuff. So yeah, this was revolutionary to me. So I fucking ran back to Discord and messaged Cosby straight away, and I was just like, mate, I was like, you have something. Like, this is special. And if you know Cosby, he's a very humble guy, and he's not really big into publicity, and he's not big into blowing his own trumpet and stuff. So he was like, thanks, it's not done. There's so much to do, and blah blah blah. And I remember saying to him, I was like, please let me advertise this for you. Let me put it on my YouTube. I was like, I'm a small little YouTuber, but I was like, let me push this out there. And he's like, nah. Like, it's not ready. And I said to him, I was like, I've played so many indie gems, and they've all had the same issue where they don't have marketing. And it's like, they have this amazing game, and then it's like they don't do any marketing. They launch thinking that everyone's going to flock to them when they launch the game, but it doesn't work like that. So they launch, and straight out the gate they tank, and then they're doing the cash up. They're trying to market after the game's release, and it's like, I was just begging them. I was like, please. I was like, don't make the same mistake. I was like, you have something so special. And man, I badgered them for about 3 months, I think it was. Like, I was super active in the Discord. We had a private beta Discord, or alpha Discord. And I was like one of the main guys giving feedback in this game because I was just obsessed with it, just playing. And then finally, after about 3 months, convinced him. And he's like, okay. He's like, you can do a little Reddit thread, and you can post some screens and stuff like that, and some loops. And I was like, brilliant. So I think it was about end of summer 2018. I posted my Reddit thread. I posted on the subreddits Oculus and Vive, I think it was. And it blew up. It went super nuclear. And I had so many inboxes that day. It hit the front page of Reddit. Everyone was like, taking the images of it and spreading it and stuff like that. And the number one question of everyone was like, when the hell is this out? Like, I want this. And I was so vindicated. And I remember Cosby was just I think that was the first time he really saw he had something special too, because the amount of people who just wanted this. And the way I pitched it to everyone too was that full melee physics. That was the sales pitch for me. And I was like, this game has, because I needed a way to sum up what this crazy experience was. You really need to play it to understand it. But my way of doing it was like full melee physics. And then people are like, well, what is full melee physics? And why doesn't every game have it and stuff like that? And then and that's how it went from there. And so then I started reviewing it on my YouTube. And the situation there was, Blade and Sorcery is one of those kind of games that you can just completely pimp out on YouTube. Like, you could clickbait it to the high hills. You could run the most sensational stuff. And by the way, YouTubers do. Like thumbnails that are nothing to do with the game, but enough to make you click on it, and all that junk I hate. So I had said to Cosby at the time, I was like, if you're not real big on publicity and you don't care about that either way, let me do it. Let me cover the game. My whole shtick is that I'm not going to pimp it out. Like, I'm going to be honest. I call it my warts and all policy, which is like, this is the problem in the game, but it's being addressed. Like, we're going to fix that. So, so I covered it on the game, and we didn't let any other YouTubers play during the early days. And that drove some people crazy, because we had YouTubers who were in the millions of subs, and they were coming and saying, hey, what's up? Like, I'll take a copy of that game. And then we were like, no, sorry, like it's not for review yet. And they were like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, do you not realize I have like 1 million subs? And we were like, yeah, but we're not doing it that way. We're doing it a different way. And it drove some people crazy. And like some people, are saying like, well, what's up with this little pirate puppet guy, with his 1,000 subs? Like, how come he's reviewing it? But our whole thing was we didn't want to pimp the game out. We didn't want to lie about the game. We didn't want any YouTuber to accidentally create false hype about the game, and we wanted to be honest. And so then this kind of had a strange kind of effect, because then when the game did go live in beta, every YouTuber in the world wanted to play it because it was like the rarest substance for them, so everyone wanted to dive on it. So then we just had this explosion of media, and that was kind of how it blew up. And so then I became community manager for about a year, and I used to do all the marketing. And then in the past year, I quit my day job and I've gone full time as producer.
Congratulations!
So that's how it all came.
That's freaking awesome.
I know that's a long story, but it's a long history.
That's an awesome story.
I think it's exactly what people would want to hear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. Okay.